Texas Tech is going to beat Oregon, and we've got a squad of people who can convince you why. The SEC, they're dead. Done. They're terrible at bowl games. Their conference is not the best. It just means less, and Baylor signed an NBA player. This is the Dose Grande squad.
You're talking ball with the Big 12 squad. From Oklahoma State to Utah, from Kansas State to BYU, from Houston to Texas Tech, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big 12 weekend. Buckle up. It's the Big 12 squad, and we have a seat for you. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up. You're part of the Big 12 squad.
Happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome to the Big 12 squad. That is Cameron Stewart of Locked On Baylor, Mountaineer Paul, Locked On West Virginia Mountaineers, and Kevin Borba of Locked On Buffs, all things Colorado. Thank you for making our shows your first listen every single day. Grab your favorite brew, and let's talk the Big 12. I forget sometimes that Duke's in the intro. The intro is very football-related. Gridiron, upcoming weekend in Big 12, which we don't have anymore. But it's two conference champions to note that are in the intro of the Locked On Big 12 squad. The Duke Blue Devils, for some reason, because our marketing team just decided to slip that one in there. And Texas
foreshadowing.
The Big 12's relevant.
Paul Dano, do they know?
The Big 12's relevant.
Do they know?
If you hit subscribe, we all get to keep our jobs. Texas Tech, Oregon. Paul, you had a Texas Tech week this year where West Virginia got to do the thing that everybody else was subject to in the league, and that's lose to them by a lot of points. I don't think America is ready. I don't think enough people are talking about nationally when I turn the TV on, the radio on, about how Texas Tech is a better football team than Oregon, and they are a genuine national championship contender.
It's wild. It really is. It's almost like people have started to believe the hyperbole that comes out because, man, people want to believe that Texas Tech is the typical Big 12 team. They're the next TCU that's coming around. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I mean, you just have to look on the football field and use your eyes. It's just a totally different team than any other specifically Big 12 team in the last 10 or 15 years, that's come through any type of playoff situation on football. The offensive balance is ridiculous. They have the ability to punish people with missed tackles. They have depth, which gives them an advantage late in games. They have defensive discipline versus explosive plays, which is something that Dante Moore and Oregon love to try to exploit. And they're going to be able to, I think, not only stop the run, but run the football, which are two of the most important things in football that you can do. I think they're going to limit explosives, win on third down, score touchdowns and not field goals, force Moore to sustain long drives and finish the first half strong. That's really what I believe about them. I think they're that much better, and I think they will prove it.
Borba, you're a West Coast guy. Give me the synopsis on what to expect from Oregon, if you can, because I do think coming from the Pac-12, you've got plenty of experience with them. This is still a very good Oregon team. I don't want to crap all over their parade.
Yeah, this Oregon team just sort of tore apart James Madison, who technically had the number 2 run defense in the country behind. They did to add a technicality. It doesn't mean anything.
PFF tell you that? Did PFF tell you that?
Doesn't mean anything. But this Oregon team has just been cycling through elite quarterback play, and I think Dante Moore is the next guy up. The interesting part to me about Oregon is I feel like this is sort of like the weakest version of their team, right? I feel like people were more high on Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel than they were on this team in particular. So it's really interesting to see how they fare against the pass rush that, David Bailey, who I covered at Stanford, is quite literally one of the best players in college football, and Jacob Rodriguez is also out there and making big plays. So this is going to be the best test I think Oregon has faced all year in terms of defense.
Cam, I loved your take. I was listening to Locked On Baylor, and you mentioned a lot. Like you probably spent 2 or 3 minutes on the Dante Moore conundrum.
It's a long time, 2-3 minutes.
It's Ruge, get ready, can get you there, and yeah. 2 or 3 minutes to the 36 hours of the rest of our lives. You mentioned the Dante Moore conundrum coming into this game, and I thought you hit the nail on the head. The analogy was there. Everything about the way you painted the picture gave me perspective for what Texas Tech can do to Dante Moore.
I have no idea, what the hell I'm doing. I have no idea.
That's basically it. This game gives me major Tennessee, Ohio State vibes from last year.
Whoa.
like without the most obnoxious fan base in the country. Love you, Tennessee, though. Like this just it's
Not
just,
Ohio State.
Could have gone either way.
No, I respect Ohio State's
No.
absolute
Utah?
losers.
Yeah, Utah.
I have a weird respect for them. No, remember like Tennessee was like, hey, we're gonna take over the horseshoe. I'm saying like that part doesn't remind me of it. But that Tennessee team was just the same thing I get from Oregon of like, did anyone really watch them this year? You watched them 2 or 3 times. You know, they didn't have these big signature victories, which you don't need to have. They were kind of sitting between that 5-12 range the whole year. They have a good quarterback, and then they got pummeled by a team with a heck of an offense in Ohio State. I know their defense was even better, but that's what you're looking at with a well-balanced Texas Tech team. And what I really can't wait for is when Tech does beat them and the Oregon fans are like, well, these guys just bought their team. I mean, what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah.
As if Oregon isn't one of the OGs of, hey, we have someone that went to our school that has a lot of money.
He's just passionate about sports, Cam. He's just passionate.
He's just
Uncle
real
Phil.
passionate about sports. Yeah.
It's also worth pointing out Oregon's, I guess, toughest opponent this year was USC. Like they played Penn State before everyone realized they sucked. And
Is that better than Tech's best opponent?
I feel like BYU is probably better than USC.
Well, after USC got blown out by TCU last night,
Yes.
this is perspective that gives us that
Old man.
BYU is much better than USC, I would say. But Borba, continue.
No, I think Oregon has sort of skated by on the schedule of like, we expected them to be really good and they didn't mess up along the way. And so I think we just all kind of went along with it. Right. But they haven't they haven't played anyone that intimidating. Like Iowa and USC are their 2 most impressive wins. And you could say the Penn State game, but we know what Penn State was, right? Their head coach is coaching at Virginia Tech and Drew Aller is getting ready to sign to the CFL.
Oh, BYU won like 5 games against teams that have 9 wins or more. Like I think BYU had a tougher schedule, a better resume than what Oregon did. Oregon's best win, I would say, was their loss to Indiana. Well, they competed hard. They lost by 10 at home to Indiana. That's the spotlight game they had all year. The rest of it was, well, they beat USC. Like they beat USC. Yeah, I don't think that is, and given the Penn State conundrum that Cam you've talked about a lot as well.
A lot.
Bottom falls out there.
Did he know?
2 conundrums already.
You know, like that's the big conundrum.
They call him Conundrum Cam. That's what they called him in college. We went to the same college.
Cam's conundrum. That was once a segment on the Green and Gold pregame show.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah.
Coming up, the SEC is bad. This is the Dose Grande Squad. Today's show is brought to all of you by FanDuel. FanDuel is exactly where I go every single week during the NBA season. I'll shoot you straight. I don't love watching the NBA. I'm a college football guy mostly, NFL here or there. But what makes the NBA so much better is FanDuel, because I go in on Fridays for happy hour. And it's not alcoholic. Don't worry, BYU fans. Fridays already feel different during basketball season. This NBA happy hour is an hour and a half where FanDuel has specials across the board. During happy hour, you get boosts, bonuses, surprises. So each and every Friday, before the games tip off, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, appointment television, appointment viewing on FanDuel. You get a little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. NBA happy hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. It's FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Can we officially put the SEC to rest? Can we obituary the SEC yet? Am I allowed to do so?
I think you could obituary them having the advantage over everyone, right? They're not the only people handing people McDonald's bags and selling cars in their names or getting cars, whatever. I think everyone has caught up to them in terms of money, right? That is the one thing that NIL was supposed to do, and it kind of has done that. And I think it's only made the Big Ten stronger, right? The Big Ten has sort of been kicking their butts. And as we record this, while Illinois is beating the ever-living you-know-what out of Tennessee, shout out Cam, your favorite people. It's one of those things where it's like, I think the SEC can no longer just hold on to their top tier teams, holding on to the top talent, right? Top talent's going everywhere across college football. Everyone can spend money. And I think as the years go on, we're going to start realizing how not as strong the conference is as it once was.
It sucks. I think it's bad.
Cool.
Yeah, you were a little bit too.
I'm old enough to remember when the SEC was good at football. You guys might be a little too young. Me and Paul remember.
Yeah. Talk to me about early Saban, Cam. Talk to me about early Saban.
Oh, dude, it was crazy.
You mean the early Saban who lost to Utah at a bowl game?
Who could forget?
Cadillac Saban.
I learned John 3:16 from Tim Tebow.
That's good. People forget. Urban Meyer, classical good guy, great program in Florida, did things the right way.
Kicked no one eventually.
Hey, that's a heck of a coaching tree in the Big Ten right now.
Ouch. Utah fans have to be beside themselves.
Utah man is he?
Nice.
Was he? Utah man was he?
Well, yeah, until the AD said he couldn't be the head coach anymore. It's great, then I'll just go coach Michigan then. Whatever. Okay. Not a bad landing spot after you get fired, huh?
Drake, what are your top 3 excuses for the SEC this year? Like, what order are they going to fire them out in?
Well, they didn't want to play. Anyway,
of course.
This was just, I heard Tom Hart was play-by-play on ESPN for the Tennessee-Illinois game, and 3 minutes to go, as Illinois is driving to win the game, he says, for all intents and purposes, we got to remember, these games are exhibitions.
Yeah.
Great. Classic.
Tennessee losing
no meaning at all.
The most overrated team in the Big Ten in Nashville is great. It is kind of great.
Mind you, Tennessee was fully ready to go like 3-9 this year after they lost Nico. So like anything over 6 wins was a success. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We didn't care. We were just here to have fun. We made the trip down to Nashville. Went to.
I think the first part was already a Tennessee plant. They were going to go 3-9. They were going to go 3-9. I think Borba was already getting the tea leaves from the SEC.
I don't want to say it, but I mean, LSU loses to Houston. We got that excuse. Missouri loses to Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
Tennessee lost to Illinois.
Do you think the broadcasters of that LSU game, like if you pulled them aside, like coming out of the stadium, be like, who did LSU just lose to? Do you think they could tell you?
They'd be like, they had Connor Weigman at quarterback. The Texas A&M kid. Yeah. I mean, Texas A&M didn't score a touchdown, by the way, against Miami.
Yeah, these are all brands.
It's the worst team that was in the playoff, Miami, then Illinois, Houston, and Virginia. If you categorize those 4 teams to the casual SEC fan, to Dale and Hoover, Alabama, I don't even know I had football teams. I'm going to say it. I don't even know. And now that they've lost. Some of those teams didn't know they had football teams, man. You think UVA knows they have a football team? Trust me.
My mom went to UVA.
I met at night that knows UVA as a football team, and it's not the UVA grad.
My mom went to UVA and had no idea. She was like, they're doing good.
Because Texas A&M got blanked by a Miami team that got absolutely look at some of the teams they lost, how they played against some of the SEC teams or ACC teams this year. Like the ACC is supposed to be such a bad conference, and Miami struggled against, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they struggled against a couple ACC teams and then somehow
lost to SMU, who lost to Baylor. I think that's right.
Yep. There's
Louisville and SMU.
Yep,
Florida State lost to everybody except Alabama. They were 1-0 against Texas A&M this year, and they lost to literally everybody in the worst conference in Power 4.
If you could have ranked the playoff at that moment, I think Florida State would have been like 1A. Like people were like ready to crown them back,
and they were not. And then I know the horse is dead, and I've continued to punch and kick it aggressively.
I love it.
Yeah. But 10-2 Alabama, who had a loss to Florida State. We had an 11-win Big 12 team. Take whatever Big 12 team you want. Throw away the logo. Could have been West Virginia. Could have been Colorado. Could have been Baylor. If you go 11-1 in the Big 12, there were teams in front of you who just did much stupider things than you did. Yet the conference couldn't get any respect. And it was all because the ESPN wants to tout the SEC. And then I'm watching on my television here that they suck. That they're not, that it's not good. And then they want to make the excuse of, well, we opted out. Well, our guys didn't want to play. Well, it's the bowl game. It's an exhibition. It doesn't matter. But it's a numbers game in that Houston has 6 guys who were 4 or 5 star players. LSU has 66. 66 guys did not opt out for LSU. They had the much more talented football team on the field and were spotted 14 points and still lost the game.
See, I kind of look at that a little bit of a different way. Like you're 100% right. But I do think that the amount of 5 stars that LSU has on their team is not 66. Although they may be ranked 5-star players. I had a player tell me a couple months ago. Yeah. Well, I had a player's dad tell me a couple of months ago, like, hey, man, they told us if we committed on their platform, they were going to give us a 5th star. Those are the kind of things that are happening, right? And he's a 92, 93 graded, whatever. Could have went anywhere he wanted. So it's like, it really doesn't matter, does it? But if you want to come on the Rivals, and it was Rivals, if you want to come on Rivals, and we'll give you that 5th star. How
I just
often
thought
do you
you were
think that
hiding it at
happens?
first. You're like, nah, it's Rivals. It's Rivals.
It's right. Well,
We're not
yeah.
surprised, but yeah.
Right. It's just crazy, man. Like, how many times does that happen? Right.
This is like the chair company, man. This goes really deep here.
We had somebody actually keep track of this. How many times did a player that had a higher rating come to West Virginia and get their rating dropped? I bet you if you look around the Big 12 outside of maybe Colorado and a couple other places, that probably happens regularly.
We talked about it last year, Drake, where I forgot who it was, but there was it feels like all the SEC programs, like Bama for one, they get like the Bama bump or the LSU bump.
They do get the bump.
There was a Georgia recruit last year who was committed to Georgia State or something. He was in the thousands. Then he commits and he's like all of a sudden top 200 recruit. And so,
and if you commit to a non-SEC Big Ten school in your junior year, forget about it, man. You might not even show up on the rankings as a senior. Like
they're gonna be like, that kid. I thought he played badminton. I didn't realize he was still playing football competitively.
Like this goes to the recruiting sites, to the networks, to
it all
just
feeds
about
one another.
anything you're consuming outside of the Locked On Podcast Network for college football.
But when Cam Rising comes back for a 7th year for Michigan, 5-star pickup. He took a year off, ayahuasca retreat. He's found himself.
First game of the year, Michigan versus some MAC school. Cam Rising versus DeQuan Finn.
Yeah.
Is DeQuan Finn allowed to play college football anymore?
He did allegedly threaten to kill his football staff.
Allegedly.
Or I guess not kill, but harm with a gun.
All right, so he's Trevon Boykin. I mean, come on.
It was the heat of the moment.
Quarterbacks coach Gary Bohannon.
Yep.
I like that.
G-Bo.
Yo, you beat that bad boy.
Yeah, that's great.
I miss my man Gary.
The great
man, it went downhill from there when he left, didn't it? Like we did a great thing with and he's gone now, and then it was just didn't work out.
I think you could say that, like you could safely say that Gary Bohannon leaving Baylor is probably like the biggest cause to problems that Baylor's had in quite a while.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything else.
Decade,
he was just doing it for his mama, man. Like, I miss Gary, dude. The guy was efficient.
Wasn't his name spelled Jerry?
Yeah. Jerry. Gerry.
No, Gary's name was spelled Gary.
Facts.
When Bohannon won the Big 12 championship, he owns that. Now that name is Gary. Yeah.
Do you think they call geriatrics Gary-atrics in his family?
Well, they don't know much about the language in Arkansas anyway. So
the streets will remember that it was Earl, Arkansas native. The streets will remember that Gary Bohannon did not win the Big 12 championship. It was instead Blake Shapen.
Big 12 championship quarterback, starting quarterback on the Big 12 championship team.
No screech.
Sugar Bowl winning Gary Bohannon. 1-0 against the SEC, Gary Bohannon.
Something like that. I'm trying to think who the third string would have been that year for Baylor. Also,
Jake Zeno.
Dude.
Was it still Zeno?
Yeah, he was still there.
He's coming back next year.
He wasn't still there.
He's coming
back.
I think
he was. I think
No. Remember, because 2019 he was a freshman, plays in the Big 12 title. By 21, he's gone. He's not in his third year at Baylor.
You're right.
There's no way.
You're right.
He went to UAB from there.
Seth Russell.
That's his first year gone. He was
and
there
at Texas A&M currently.
Wow.
Is he the reason they lost?
Zeno gave me one of the greatest moments.
And we're all the way back to Miami, Texas A&M now.
Zeno had 2 passes to glory.
So unbelievable.
5-star recruit Zeno now at Texas A&M.
Yep. Throw the Z. Throw the Z. Baylor signing NBA players. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Happy New Year's Eve, by the way, everybody. Go drink and be merry. Not alcohol. For Baylor fans, BYU fans. What you can do is you can go to Game Time, though, and find I went to Game Time, found tickets for a concert tonight. I'm going to see the Avett Brothers, niche band, North Carolina. Driving up there, going to buy a car on the way. Why not? Why not us? College football season, bowl season. You can go to Game Time and find college football games as cheap as $25. Concerts as cheap as $25. Zone deals stand out. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats. You save even more. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Game Time, LOCKEDONCollege is that code.
Where you get the
Cam,
answer to the question of all questions.
What you got, Cam?
If I may, the 4 young men that threw passes for the Big 12 champion, Sugar Bowl champion, 2021 Baylor Bears. Gary Bohannon, Blake Shapen, Tyquan Thornton,
Of course he did.
And Jacob Arzino.
Stop that right now. Stop that.
It's not gonna work. Jacob Zeno, baby.
His name is right under your name tag.
Won the big one. Won the big one.
Here you go.
Jacob Zeno. The 4th was Cam Stewart.
Yeah.
2,200 passing yards for GB.
The Baylor football team immediately left Dallas, came back to Waco. Couches in the street, on fire. The debauchery was real. That was good. Paul Borba, maybe one day you'll experience conference championships in the Big 12. When you do, the couches will burn. Sorry,
Don't
Paul.
miss it, man.
It's a sore spot.
It was a wonderful life.
It's not going to be the only thing burning in Colorado. I can tell you that.
Hey, well, you definitely won't be getting
weed.
You won't be getting Big 12 championships in basketball. That belongs to the NBA's 31st franchise, the Baylor Bears. Cam, how do you feel about Baylor breaking all of the rules and being the only team to ever do this?
Gosh, it's about time. It's about time we really set the trend, became revolutionary, did something no one else has ever done. I'm here for it. I'm becoming Bane out of this whole thing. Because in reality, I hate the move, but they start coming after Scott Drew, and suddenly I'm born into the darkness.
You know, Tom Izzo hates you. He hates you and he wants you to die.
Tom Izzo hates everyone, dude. Tom Izzo in reality, and this is fine, but Tom Izzo is what everyone wanted Mike Krzyzewski to be, like this kind of holier than thou type. Like Tom Izzo is that. And like, whatever, dude, it's college basketball. There's always one of those, at least one of those. But I just found it so funny. Like that is what you thought Mike Krzyzewski was. Like, that's what you wanted so desperately Coach K to be. Tom Izzo is. And Tom Izzo and Scott Drew have the same number of national championships.
Yikes.
Tom Izzo got one heck of a head start. I'm just saying.
13 years ago.
Undefeated, Scott Drew. Undefeated in the Final Four. Tom Izzo's like 3 in a billion.
Do we? Calipari came out, and of course, he's the savior of college basketball. Who's never done anything wrong or nefarious. John Calipari, notable good guy, says that we've got to fix this. Tom Izzo doesn't say we have to fix this. He says, "Oh, I'll call Scott. I'll iron this one out."
Shame on him. Shame on him.
This one out.
I'll put. That's what I mean. Like, I'll put in a call to Scott. Like, okay, yeah, let's get Scott on your calendar, Tom. Let's put in a call from the hotline with Tom Izzo.
Whereas Calipari goes on a 7-minute rant of how he can save college basketball. Here's what I don't understand.
I love Calipari at this point. It's weird, but I kind of love him.
I really don't get or know how we're going to fix this, because the second we try to, they're just going to get sued. Someone gets sued and they're going to lose.
That's exactly it. I was going to say, in a weird way, I almost sympathize with the NCAA in a weird,
wow.
But I mean, they did put all these rules in place for people to follow. And now every time they try to do something about that, they just get sued and told they can't put the. So now when people are like, what are you doing, NCAA? And they're like, what do you want us to do? I mean, there's nothing they can do.
Do
They
we
have
think
literally
do
no
the
power.
NCAA, do they have lawyers? Because all like the two things they're
Oh, they
known
do.
for is losing in court and just every rule they have has major loopholes.
So
I think they get the lawyers that are like appointed to you when you just show up and it's like some dude who just
it's so funny you mentioned that. So West Virginia, obviously, we've been a part of 3 lawsuits against the NCAA. Sean Austin played at West Virginia, by the way. Austin versus the NCAA. Yeah, so there's that. But obviously, Raekwon Battle.
Rudy? Wasn't that the guy in Rudy?
Sean Astin.
Stranger Things.
Oh God.
Final season.
season 5.
Yeah, whatever what they did
Final season
in
of the movie,
whenever West Virginia sued them was they just whoever the best in the area was, they hired them to work on the case.
That's
Interesting.
Yeah.
The NCAA did say today they have not and will not grant eligibility to any prospective or returning
love
student
this.
athletes who have signed an NBA contract, including a 2-way contract.
Love that.
That's what they said.
Love that from Charlie Baker. Sends out that tweet. He's like, man, I nailed this. And I said it on my show the other day. Like he definitely has like one of the intercom speakerphone things at the head of the boardroom. And he's like, don't worry, guys. I got it under control. I put it out there. They can't play if they sign an NBA contract. Someone in the earpiece like,
I tweeted about it.
He did not sign an NBA contract. He did not sign an NBA contract. This literally solves nothing.
Okay, what are the parameters though?
we're not going to stand for this tyranny.
Let's be real. Like, who cares if a guy fizzled out in the G League after going from high school to the G League, or from like Kyrie Walker? I'm sure a lot of people remember that name. 5-star dude who was always going viral. And then he decided to not go to college and train for a year, played in the G League, did absolutely nothing. Like, who cares about that? Like, it's the same thing. If you're going to not let these guys come from the G League or lower tier NBA guys like Cam's guy who was drafted and did nothing, then stop letting the European guys come play basketball, right?
Take away
Stop
H1 visas.
It is just so weird that like, you know, one of the big things in NIL the first few years is like international players, you
H1
can't get
visas.
anything. You can't get a single thing. And then when it's like, oh, professional Europeans want to come and play here, NCAA is like, what can we do? Like, what can we do? They're not American. What can we possibly do about it? It's amazing. This is what happens when the people that hate America, like the governor of Massachusetts, who was actually a Republican, takes over at the NCAA level. This is what happens. It's the Americans that get left behind.
Charlie Baker. Chuck B.
My dad's old boss, Charlie Baker.
Wow. No, again, notable good guy.
What a whirlwind that was.
I know, right?
That was
I feel
one
like
heck of a take.
I just learned a little bit of history, a little bit about Cam's life. Every time Cam's mouth opens, I learned something that I didn't want to.
I learned the political affiliation of the NCAA president, Charlie Baker.
He's a rhino, though, to be fair. I mean, you can't win in Massachusetts unless you're a rhino, man.
Is that like a preference, like a position, or I don't know what that means?
It's a new kind of furry.
That would be a Republican in name only, Borba.
Nope.
In fact, I say about the University of Virginia is a pino to bring UVA back into this. It's technically a public school. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And that's how Mel Gibson came up with the Passion of the Christ.
Nice.
This has been, that always will be, Texas Tech tomorrow. Oregon, it's going to be great in the morning.
They're going to get stomped, Bob.
Baylor
on
Final Four
Thanks
weekend.
for making this show your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.